I'd like to call the Wednesday, January 3rd, Board of Public Works and Safety meeting to order. Let's begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Jess Bruder. Lord Check. Lord Jarek.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of minutes. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Public comment. Anything online?
Nothing yet, Mayor.
Clerk Treasurer. Claims approval.
We have civil city payroll in the amount of $480,090.71.
Make a motion to approve.
Second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
We have quarterly payroll. This is merit pay, $1,926.88.
Make a motion to pay.
Second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
We have civil city claims in the amount of $1,884,954.10. That includes a few bond payments in there, semi-annual bond payments.
Make a motion to approve for payment.
Second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Water claims in the amount of $143,532.79.
Make a motion for payment.
Second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Sewage claims in the amount of $280,030.99.
Make a motion to approve for payment.
Second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
I believe
Conflict of interest
I
forms.
believe we have two conflict of interest disclosure statements from a couple of the council members. One is Laura Konechny, one is Drew Buchanan. You'll see a few more coming through here in the beginning of the year from other employees, board members, or council members. So these are the two we have today, Laura Konechny and Drew Buchanan. The Board of Works, the conflict of interest disclosures are submitted to the Board of Works for approval, and then we get these recorded and put them on the State of Indiana Gateway's website.
I see Laura Konechny's disclosure or conflict. Do we have one for Drew Buchanan?
Yes.
I mean, what's the actual conflict?
He's signing that there isn't one.
Yeah.
He has
Oh,
to
that there
sign.
isn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't have any stated
Perfect.
conflicts.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
And then finally, I'm requesting for Board of Works approval to pay expenses for the LaPorte Invitational officials and halftime entertainment. These will be on the January 17th docket, but we will need to get them paid before the weekend.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Before we go to department head reports, Mr. Otis, we would like to talk a couple items. Number one, the fire department CBA 2023.
Correct. Thank you. This, and we have a couple representatives from the union here today as well. In December, the Board of Works approved a collective bargaining agreement with the police department. This is a very similar collective bargaining agreement between the City of LaPorte and the Professional Firefighters Association. It covers the years 2024, 2025, and 2026. This was negotiated by the mayor with the union, and I'm sure with Courtney as well, in terms of making sure that the city can afford this. Just quick highlights. The LaPorte Fire City Department will receive a $14,500 raise over the course of 2024, 2025, and 2026 as follows. 2024, the LaPorte City Fire Department will receive $7,250 raise per officer. In 2025, the department will receive a $3,625 raise per officer. In 2026, each officer will receive a $3,625 raise. So, Mayor, I don't know if you have any additional comments on this.
No, I've appreciated the negotiations with fire and police. They've been respectful. One thing I've appreciated is they understand the future, they understand budget, and, you know, obviously, we have great teams, and we're thankful that, you know, they worked with us to come to an agreement that works both for the city and to keep our fire department here and police department here. So I don't know if either members of our team would like to come up and say anything, or are you good for approval? Do I have a motion to approve?
Just real quick, Mayor, I believe too, this is, again, the local option income tax, I believe, is helping to fund this. Is that correct?
Correct. Without the lit, that took quite many months to pass and work with the county and all of our local communities. Without that, this would have been much more difficult. So we see this as a viable option to fund, especially purchases, one-time purchases year after year for both our fire and police. Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second, discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Number two, because Mr. Otis has another appointment, just as a reference point for police, and we've talked to Assistant Chief Denegard, that it's a great job by getting the federal funds to pay for this utility contract. Mr. Otis, it clearly states.
Yes, we need to bid this, and I think the conversation that we've had with Assistant Chief and the Chief was that it sounds like there's probably only one vendor that can serve or fulfill this contract, but we still have to bid it. We'll likely end up in the same result that we currently are at, but both pursuant to the grant that we received and state law, we want to make sure that this is bid. So we'll get that done, and we might be able to have this hopefully on the agenda for the next meeting if we can get it done in time. So.
Have to look at advertising.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll try to get that done as soon as possible. Yep.
So with that, you know what is next steps.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll get with Courtney and make sure that gets put in the newspaper as soon as
Or do you
possible.
work with the Assistant Chief?
Yep.
Perfect.
Mayor,
Thank you.
one item if we're done with that item, I did want to cover one item that wasn't on
Please.
the agenda, just real quick. At the, Mr. Romine, at last night's council meeting, we addressed at the beginning of the year the city's ethics policy. And I just wanted to bring it to the attention, both of Ms. Romine and the department heads that are here. We're required to review the policy every year, and I've reviewed it. I'm not making any recommendations on changes. It essentially follows exactly what state law requires, and you already approved 2 conflict of interest disclosure forms. I encourage any department head, appoint any appointed person or elected person. If you have a question about a conflict, don't hesitate to reach out. It's better to err on the side of caution than the flip side of not disclosing something that is a conflict. So I think everybody does a great job here of making sure they not only follow law, they go above and beyond to make sure we're doing the right thing.
And from an ethical perspective, you know, I think we have people with high standards, and signing a piece of papers and going to change your mind about being ethical or not. When you swear to the United States and state of Indiana Constitution, I think you're taking that oath serious, which includes ethical behavior, but we love bureaucracy in government, so we'll keep repeating ethics, and look forward to that each and every year.
Ms. Clerk Treasurer, if that could be reflected in the minutes that we discussed this item. Thank you.
I took 4 hours of it as well this past year for my professional license, so
Perfect.
on it.
Mr. Otis, thank you.
Thank you.
Department head reports. Craig Phillips, Planning. Direct and to the point.
Good morning. Just ongoing work related to several different grants for housing and infrastructure opportunities in the city, as well as additional work with regard to some specific housing-related items, bringing more housing to fill the housing needs spectrum for the city, and kicking off the effort to do the comprehensive plan, comprehensive and transportation plan for the city. So that's all I have this morning.
Thank you. Tim Warner, Water.
Good morning, and thank you to the board.
Thanks, Nick.
Right away, I just want to give a reminder out to the public. We are going into the cold months, so make sure that your hoses are disconnected from your hose bibs and spigots. Make sure there's no cold air breeze blowing in through basement windows or crawl spaces on water lines. We haven't had that cold of weather yet, but it's on its way. So I just want to remind everybody to be vigilant on that. We do have staff 24 hours a day at the water department. If there is an issue, 219-326-9540 is the phone number there. Other than that, I want to give a thanks to the maintenance crew. They were called in Christmas Eve about 6:37 for a main break over on the east side of town. Worked on that till about 1:32 in the morning. That's the way it goes for us. We always have something that happens on Christmas, so I just want to give a thanks out to them that we didn't have any problems with guys showing up. We had a full crew. That way we were able to work safely into the night, light it up, and got it done. The reason why we ended up doing it that night, we were worried about some property damage on the neighbor's house. The water was kind of puddling there. We didn't want them to get a flooded basement for Christmas morning. So we went ahead and made the decision to have the guys come in and get it done. Other than that, we're starting our well maintenance and cleaning program. Actually, yesterday, 2 of the Kankakee wells we're pulling out and getting them surge block cleaned. It's a lot easier to get those capacities back now than when we start having issues with them. That's one of the changes we've made recently in the last 4 or 5 years is making sure our wells are up to date and able to supply the water that the city needs, not just for drinking water, but for fire flow and everything else. That's one of the things that the American Rubber Fire brought to our attention is, you never know when you're going to need an extra 12 million gallons of water. So, other than that, that's all I have, and Happy New Year to everybody.
Well, and I think that's an important discussion when you talk about that, being out till 1:30 in the morning. When we look at the community and we're providing the best service, that's why we're trying to increase wages. We have quality people. It's not just fire and police. We're trying to increase wages across the board because, again, we have people that are out at 1:30 in the morning. We just saw where Walkerton has a boil order right now. We're not that community. That's why we're addressing the 39 North situation. But when you hear about wage increases, our goal is across the board, not just fire and police, and we're getting there. But I think our community does not want individuals that don't have the education, don't have the experience to deal with the situation, whether it's water, sewer, IT. We've seen what's happened with IT at the county level. We don't want to be that agency or that department, so we need to pay, and we will continue to pay our people well to keep them here and retire here.
You just remind me of one other thing. I did have 2 guys that have passed one passed their DSL and one passed their WT3 test, which the WT3 test has got about a 15% pass rate in the state of Indiana right now. Wow. So he's our midnight operator, Matthew McCoy, passes WT3 last week, and then Nate Martin, who you guys see around here doing some maintenance stuff, passes DSL on his first time around. So I just want to give a shout out to those guys too for their studying. It's a tough test, and the more people we have certified through the state of Indiana on our staff, the better the water department in the city is for that.
Awesome. Congrats to them and thanks to
For
them.
sure, it's tough work.
Everybody in your
It's tough
department.
work.
So remind that to the individuals in 39 North that want to mail us middle school type of artwork about our annexation. This is why the residents up there deserve quality individuals working on things that are as important as water. Jerry Jackson, wastewater.
The city council approved financing for our new vac truck. Thanks to the clerk for shopping around with Indiana Bond Bank and getting us a good rate on the loan. And our vac truck should be delivered mid-January, so we're looking pretty good there. I'll get a report to the to the board, but just to sum real quick, 96% of the power for the treatment plant came from solar last year. Wow. That's kind of cool. That was our best year yet.
96%?
96%. So
That's amazing.
it's.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We thought that was going to be about a 12, 13-year payback for the cost of that, but the cost of power has risen quite, and when you look at the numbers, it's more like 9-year payback.
Nice.
So not too bad. Not too bad.
Great job. Nick Minnick, Engineering.
Which means, there's life of a solar panel, it's a significant amount of years. With
20 years at least. Yeah.
Full power.
Yep.
No cost. Excellent. No report, thank you.
Courtney Parthun, Clerk Treasurer for life.
No, that was,
Top what you
no, that's too exciting.
That's what I was gonna say.
Jeff Batchelor, Streets and Code.
Yeah, we're out filling potholes, we're removing all the decorations that's been up since probably around Thanksgiving. We also condemned 3 houses within the last week, and then we had 2 snowplows go down in the last week, 2 weeks, so we'll be working on getting with Courtney to get some quotes and getting some new used vehicles.
I knew you'd do that, just to get those vehicles in-house.
Fortunately, we haven't needed them.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but next week is, let's just,
It's a reminder to the public also, when we condemn a house, whether for drug use, whether for,
there's numerous things. It can be for drug use where they violated a chronic nuisance property. The condition of the house is in bad shape and they're not taking care of it. And really the inside of the house, it's hard for us to get in without going to court. But, usually there's other things. If that's the situation, usually it's a drug house and we can work our way in there somehow with chronic nuisance properties and that stuff.
and those homes just won't sit there, though. We will look to upgrade those, work with somebody new or an owner that is renting out and didn't realize what's happening inside his own house.
2 of them were over on Darlington and 1 was on Maple, so not in our good parts of town and that stuff.
Assistant Chief Denegard, Police.
We have nothing to report, sir.
Chief Snyder, Fire.
Really nothing to report. Busy end of the holiday season. Looking forward to getting to a slower start to the year here.
Bert Cook. Mark Schreiber, Parks.
I'll use the remainder of their time. We do have the LaPorte Invitational coming up Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Going to be very exciting. 36 players that are nationally ranked in recruiting, 11 powerhouse teams, including our own in our own backyard, La Mer, who's ranked number 10. They're going to play a couple top 10 teams in their matchups. So very exciting. Have ESPN covering the first 2 days, including a game on ESPN2, another one on ESPNU, the third day on League Ready streamed. So a lot of great national attention for us. We encourage everybody to get your tickets. They are going very quick. We're ahead of last year's sale pace, and that included last year selling out on Saturday. So if you want to go this weekend, time is now to get your tickets, and you can get those at LaPorteCivicAuditorium.com. So looking forward to a great crowd. We have great half times. K9 and Flights on Friday night. That's going to be a great family entertainment option. And there's tickets as low as $15 per person if you get the family 4-pack. So $15 for 3 to 4 games. It costs $7 to go see the freshman basketball team play. So these are high caliber players. Players from the first year we hosted it are already in the NBA. That's how close these kids are to the threshold of professional basketball. The majority of these kids will be playing major college somewhere next year. So exciting event. Also would be remiss if we didn't let you know Winterfest coming up January 26, 27, 28. Annual event. We're looking forward to bringing that back to the community again this year. Also the ice rink is up and running, looking great. Now's the time to get out, back part of winter break, get out there and do some skating. So we also had a recent retirement. Pam Carroll, after 41 years with the department, retired. We had her retirement party for her on Saturday. She was officially retired at the end of the year, and can't thank Pam enough for everything she did for our community over those years. You think of the thousands of residents, youth, adults, that impacted all the events, all the programs that she was part of over those 4 decades. It's pretty impressive. So with that, we have our new recreation director with us this morning, Sam Back, a recent Valparaiso University graduate. And Sam, I'll let you just say a few things to introduce yourself to the board.
Hi, how are you? Like you said, Sam Beck, Valparaiso University graduate. Got my degree in sports management. Just excited to get started. Thank you.
Sam, welcome to the city of LaPorte. You come highly recommended, and you'll be back in 10 minutes to present your 2024 plan, correct?
We can make something up.
Welcome to LaPorte. Thank you. And I'd like to mention last night we started our basketball extravaganza at the Civic. LaPorte played Lowell, which was great to see, and I want to thank Mark for making that happen with the school system playing one game a year. That's good. Also, rumor has it Thursday with the whiteout where 800 shirts will be given away. There's rumors that John Calipari is flying in tomorrow into LaPorte to check that out. Carmelo Anthony's son plays for the Long Island team, and rumor is that ex-NBA great might be showing up at the Civic, and Matt Painter is apparently coming up from Purdue. I'm sure somebody from IU will eventually show up this year. But so you don't want to miss. You want to be out there all 3 days. Get your tickets now. Roscoe Hoffman, IT. Beth West, Transport. Andrea Smith, HR.
Good morning, Board, and Happy New Year. We have finished the policy manual. It's going to be going to Nick Otis in the next few weeks with review with Mayor Dermody and Courtney Parthun. We also received a completed copy of the salary study, which we will be going over internally. So things that we worked on in 2023 are accomplished, and we are moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Communications, Jess. Explore check. Paul Jarek. Those department heads that don't have business before the city, go have a great day. Nick Minnick.
We have a request to re-advertise and bid Stone Lake Trail Phase 2 and 3. We had attempted to bid this last summer, end of the summer, but then we wanted to kind of work this into the Wellfield project. That's the Phase 3 portion of this. So we never actually took bids. So I wanted to bring it before the board and request to rebid that. We're at a place where within the next 2 to 3 weeks we can put that back out, and wanted to kind of acknowledge that we had not received bids previously and wanted to go back out for bid.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Something I'm excited about, Slicer Pathway.
Yeah, we're also very close within the next 2 to 3 weeks. We've got a Tucker King down in engineering working on this quite a bit with David Heinold, and we got to touch base with Jerry on some drainage issues and a number of things, but hopefully within the next 2 to 3 weeks. So I wanted to make sure if it is 2 weeks out that we got it before the board beforehand. We wanted to request to advertise and bid the Slicer Pathway. And just for reference, the Slicer Pathway, it's a healthcare foundation grant kind of paired with some other funds for sidewalks and drainage and other things, but it's helping provide better access between really the high school and Kessling campus. But beyond that, we have a significant gap where students have to walk in the road, whether they're walking to the high school or from the high school. So although with our sidewalk lawsuit, it's very specific as to how we need to spend our money, with this grant, we're able to kind of jump outside of that and hopefully fill some sidewalk gaps that we wouldn't otherwise be able to do.
So this will come from 8th Street and 10th going west.
8th and F.
8th and F.
You were
To A.
close.
Yes.
Up A, and then it'll connect into the 18th Street Greenway.
But it'll also go west on 10th? No.
No, it's coming off of off of 8th instead,
Okay, but still,
which provides access both.
Makes sense off of F.
We had the potential, and if funds are available, to fill in the gap on the north side of 10th between F and Kiwanis there. But the initial funds weren't going to be enough to do that. The main focus is there's a pretty big gap along that 8th Street corridor, and then also A Street heading north. There's about a block and a half with no sidewalks.
Yes.
That we really, that's really key is getting that section filled in too.
and when we just were here last meeting talking about Riley School with all the drivers that can't follow the rules and putting our kids in danger, we see kids, every one of us see kids walking on the road away from middle school to the high school. And when this bids, when do you think construction would begin?
Well, some of the project is asphalt, so it won't actually start until plants open that portion of it. But I would hope April timeframe would be when we start seeing some movement on it.
So do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second, further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Jerry Jackson.
I've got pay request number 6 for the Letters and Numbers Street. This is out of order. We've already done pay request number 7. Pay request 6 should have been processed back when we had the one meeting that got delayed, Board of Works meeting that got delayed. And then I think it happened on Friday, and somehow this fell through the cracks. So we still need to process and pay this. There's pay request number 6, contract 2A, in the amount of $320,043.79. We're further than that. That took us to 61%.
Yeah, I thought we had done a couple pay applications at the last meeting.
We
back
did.
to
That was
back,
number
but
7.
That was 7 and 5 maybe, or?
That was Schneider
Yeah.
for the Civic.
Yeah.
Ah, you're right. Okay, thanks. Sorry, Jerry.
No.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
And then the other is contract 2B, which is the street work, and that's the amount of $470,644.35, which that was at 44% for the contract. And again, we haven't paid for the surface on the Letters and Numbers project. That won't happen until we get that situation corrected.
Make a motion to approve.
Second, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Phosphorus?
Phosphorus paving contract, this is finishing up some of the work that didn't get done with the phosphorus project. We bid to do paving and some sidewalks associated with the project. Milestone was the low bidder. They didn't get the surface on, but they ground and got the base asphalt, which will get us through the winter in the treatment plant. The total project was $74,906. They've got a pay request, this is the first, for $53,472.12. That takes us to 71% of the project. I'd recommend approval.
Motion to approve.
Second, discussion? Now, it's interesting that Milestone bid this. It's difficult to get them to bid regular roads. Any reasoning?
I called them and said, who do I talk to? And I sent them, I don't know if that made the difference, but I did do that.
Well, it's good to see them doing work here, so.
I thought so too. And that we only got 2 bids, Reith Riley and Milestone was a little bit lower.
And that's all we expect, correct? Those 2 bids?
With paving contracts, that's usually all we'll get, yeah.
I do have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion passes.
Then I've got the Nice General Service Agreement. This is something we did last year. I think Water maybe already did for this year. This is just a general contract for $2,500 per month. If I need some calculations or I need advice on some project, I can call them and they can do some work for me. We've been doing this for quite a number of years, and it's very handy to.
You'll have to wait for Mr. Kosher to come back for that one,
Okay.
due to my conflict of interest and all those ethics.
Yep. No
Yeah.
problem. This is
Thanks.
no emergency.
Perfect. Thank you, Jerry. Assistant Chief Denegard, request to sell K-9 kennel for Dodge Durango.
Yes, sir. We're just requesting if we could actually sell one of our old used K-9 Durango inserts. We have a couple of them that we're trying to get rid of if it's possible.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
We don't need them for other vehicles, or they
No,
don't
we do
fit
not.
in? Okay.
And the Durangos were problems, correct?
Yes, those were problem vehicles that we ended up trading off. And then when we got the new vehicle, since it was a different vehicle, we had to actually get a different insert for it. Instead of
Okay.
keeping these around, not being used, we'd rather sell them and
Yeah.
And
have
are you
another
talk-
department use them.
Are you talking about selling them back to dealers or
Other law enforcement agencies.
Clerk Treasurer Parthun, you good?
Yeah, I don't know what the dollar amount would be or how you figure that out. I don't know what.
We'll work on that.
Okay. I would just involve Attorney Otis just to make sure.
Okay.
And clean them out.
Yeah, they're
Please.
cleaned out.
Motion and a second I have. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. And Merit Commission.
Merit Commission's attorney is requesting retainer of $200 a month for his services with the Merit Commission for their meetings.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second, discussion. I think Doug Beege does a very nice job.
He does.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. So we do have a professional service agreement, which is the would you like us to bring that?
You already talked about this, I think.
Oh, that's where the,
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
that needs to be bid.
other business.
I have none.
Mr. Cook, anything else? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? We are adjourned. Have a great start of the year, everyone.